I have severely overeaten these last couple of days to the point I actually feel sick recording this video. I feel so disgusting. But this video is going to show you what I think happened and also how I'm going to get back on track within 48 hours. And this video, let me stress, is coming from a supportive, positive and encouraging approach. Like, this is not going to be like all doom and gloom negative. It's me being accountable. Okay, I've slipped up, I've overeaten severely, but we're going to get back on track. I'm human, I'm not a robot, and I hope by sharing this makes you feel less alone if you do feel lonely or isolated. Sometimes you feel like you might not have the support when you're trying to lose weight and you're a bit on your own, but this just shows you it does happen to a lot of people and it's not the end of the world. I'm going to talk to myself like as if this is a friend, like this is a friend showing me what they've just done the last couple of days. I'm never going to be, you know, dismissive and putting people down. Like, so why do we do it to ourselves? Like, we all do it. We talk to ourselves like negatively, we put ourselves down about it, but actually it happened, you know, and I'm going to get back on it. So the first thing, why I think this has happened, if you've been watching the last sort of 2 weeks of my Gene series, the first thing I think is my period has affected my hormones. I'll pop some stuff on the screen. It's affected my hormones. I felt very drained, lethargic, fatigued last week. Periods can affect a lot of things like your appetite as well. So I think it's just a coincidence I've come on my period at this time. Actually, maybe it's not a coincidence because I do actually find most of the time I get a period, this can trigger cravings and stuff like that. Second thing is I've had very poor sleep. I do try my best to go to bed between 9:30 and 10, get to sleep early, but especially I'm autistic and I have ADHD as well. So sometimes my brain doesn't always play ball. I will try to go to bed early, but sometimes I get suddenly super productive and I come right alive in like the early evening and then I'll start doing something and before I know it, it's 3 a.m. So there are things that can be self-inflicted, like if I'm doom scrolling on social media or something like that, which I try not to do and I rarely do that. But I do find if I'm stressed and stuff, I do kind of use that sometimes as an escape. I do love to do a lot of reading and stuff, but sometimes if my brain can't focus properly and I'm just scrolling, there are times that this lack of sleep this week has been my fault, but also like with the ADHD brain, I don't always I can't always control like when I'm tired in the evening and stuff. So with that part aside, so that's my sleep. And then also I've done a lot of heavy weights in the gym and I don't think I've fueled myself properly. So in combination with the period, the lack of sleep and also heavy training without fueling properly, I think this has led me to overeat to this extent. Now, what am I going to do to fix it in the next 24 hours? So first of all, I'm going to, well, actually, I've just had a shower because I feel like before I get started, I need to feel fresh and clean in myself. Now, where I feel so bad internally because I've eaten junk food for 2 days, I need to at least feel as clean and fresh as I can. So I started by having a shower, washing my hair, putting a nice treatment oil in my hair and, you know, moisturising my face. So I'll try and feel as good like that as I can. Then the next thing I'm doing is cleaning the kitchen. So I'm going to get rid of all of this rubbish, put it in the bin, take it outside and it's all gone. Then I'm going to do a bit of cleaning because I find once I feel good and then I've also cleaned my environment, that is then when I can start getting back on track properly. So let's start with that. This bag is pretty much nearly halfway full. Yeah, that's about halfway full of this recycling bag. So just as I'm cleaning my kitchen right now, I'm feeling very dirty and disgusting, like inside of my body. Like I've got all the food sitting here right now as we're speaking, very bloated, and I'm just sitting with this feeling, acknowledging it, so I remember how I don't want to feel and how much I genuinely miss drinking all my water, eating nutritious foods. It makes me feel really good and that's the feeling I want to get back. So rather than letting it all spiral, going downhill, thinking I've ruined my progress, negative self-talk, no, we're not doing any of that. So I am actually thinking, as I'm doing all of this and reflecting over the last sort of 5 weeks, so this is happening now between week 5 and 6 of my jeans challenge, and it hasn't ruined my progress. It's just one of these things that have happened, and I'm thinking how well I've done to even get my jeans. Like, I'm so happy because these jeans, and actually they're here, they are not in the cupboard, they're always in my sight because that's my goal. And now I can actually get in them. Like a few weeks ago, they wouldn't even go over my hips. And now I can get most of the buttons up. I'll be interested to see how my check-in is next week for week 6. But I've made so much amazing progress just in the last few weeks. And I'm reminding myself, I feel really bad right now, but I'm reminding myself of that, of how good I've done. And it's actually making me smile. Also the fact that in the last 6 weeks from the summer, I have lost 10 kilos. So it's slow and steady weight loss, which I'm happy with because I want to have a healthy relationship with my mind, with food, with my body, and I want something sustainable. I'm not wanting to do like unhealthy stuff or short-term things I can't actually keep up with. I want to have a really good relationship with like food and just more of a healthy perspective. Anyway, so if you actually have any progress pictures or videos yourself, like in the moment where you're feeling at your worst, like right now, it's the end of the 2 days of overeating. I'm pretty feeling rough right now. Just remind yourself to look at progress pictures and see how good you've come. It will inspire you again, give you a bit of motivation. And good morning. So this is the first full day of getting back on track. It really helps last night. So I don't know if I made clear that the video I started actually last night, the end of day 2 overeating. So it really helped having a shower, making myself feel fresh, washing my hair, cleaning my environment, cleaning the kitchen. And then I went to bed. I had about 8 hours sleep and I woke up this morning and I've had my breakfast, which I'll show you. It's a bit random. It's chili and some toast, and I've drunk half a litre of water already. I'm gonna finish this litre before I go to the gym to make sure I'm got some hydration. And I know the chili seems like a random breakfast, but at the end of the day, it's got protein, fat and carbs. I've got the 5% mince, I've got some butter on the toast and garlic butter in the chili and some cheese, and I also had some toast for carbs. Now, I would normally have a protein shake in the morning because I'm struggling to eat breakfast at the moment, which is why I think I've got a bit fatigued with all the training and not fueled myself enough. So I have sort of forced myself this morning to eat that breakfast, which was delicious. But ordinarily, I would have had a protein shake with protein powder, oats, peanut butter, cinnamon, chia seeds, and what else do I have in it? Some other stuff, but that's what I would have had. But banana, but I didn't have bananas, which is the reason I didn't have my shake. So the chili was the next best thing. Before I go to the gym now, so I've just eaten, I'm going to let my food go down. I'm actually doing a bit of reading. I'm going to read about 10 pages or so. And this is Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I'm on page 108 at the moment. But I just wanted to share something that I found really interesting. It's to do with sleep pressure and caffeine. A lot of people drink caffeine, and it's about like that caffeine crash. How when you're feeling sleepy and tired, you drink caffeine, it keeps you awake for a bit, and then you have like this severe, like sudden caffeine crash. Anyway, so what he was basically saying in the book, there's 2 things that determine your wake and sleep cycle. One is your circadian rhythm, and 2 is something called adenosine. Now, this is a chemical that builds up in your brain, and it's like sleep pressure. So the adenosine builds up, and this is what makes you feel sleepy. And it builds up all day, it increases in concentration, and when you get to the point where all of this adenosine, this chemical, has built up throughout the day, then in the evening, that's what makes you feel sleepy. So what he's saying about the caffeine, so let's say if you have a coffee at 7:30 in the evening, the adenosine, this chemical in your brain that builds up your sleepiness from the moment you wake, that doesn't actually stop building. The caffeine actually masks it. So the caffeine latches onto the receptors, I believe, and it acts as a masking agent, so it just blocks it. So what actually happens is caffeine here, it says caffeine has a half-life of 5 to 7 hours. Let's say you have a cup of coffee after your evening dinner around 7:30 p.m. This means that by 1:30 a.m. 50% of that caffeine may still be active and circulating throughout your brain tissue. Yeah, that's a lot. And caffeine is also very strong. I don't react well to caffeine. So those two drinks I had, the Lucozades, I don't think they're as strong as like a Red Bull or an energy drink, because I've had a Red Bull years ago and it was just one small can, and I remember about 5 hours later I was getting jittery, I was shaking, I was getting palpitations. So Red Bull didn't react well with me. But these Lucozade drinks, I think it says like Lucozade Energy, but I'm pretty sure mainly it's probably just sugar. I don't really know what's in it. So I imagine it's got high amounts of caffeine, especially with that and the junk food I've eaten. But it's saying about how quickly caffeine can get removed. So this part is interesting. Caffeine is removed from your system by an enzyme within your liver, which gradually degrades it over time. Based in large parts of genetics, some people have a more efficient version of the enzyme that degrades caffeine, allowing the liver to rapidly clear it from the bloodstream. Others, however, have a slow-acting version of the enzyme. It takes far longer for their system to eliminate the same amount of caffeine. As a result, they are very sensitive to caffeine's effects. So what this is saying about the sleepiness as well is, let's say the sleepiness, like in this, what he's saying here, you built up the adenosine, you've got sleepiness, you've had a cup of coffee at 7:30 in the evening, and he's saying the sleepiness you experienced 2 or 3 hours ago before you drank the coffee, plus all the extra adenosine that has accumulated in the hours in between, so the chemical that's making you sleepy, that's still been building up in the background because the caffeine's been masking it, not stopping it, and the caffeine's wearing off and the adenosine is still building. So he's saying that all the extra adenosine that has accumulated in the hours in between, impatiently waiting for the caffeine to leave. When the receptors become vacant by the way of caffeine decomposition, adenosine rushes back in and smothers the receptors. When this happens, you are assaulted with a most forceful adenosine trigger urge to sleep, the aforementioned caffeine crash. So there's also a picture, you may have seen this before. This is like the effects of caffeine. I think they've done it on a spider's web. So I'll pop a picture on the screen. But one picture is effects of various drugs on spiders and web building. So the first picture is normal, and then they've done ones with LSD, marijuana, speed and caffeine. And it is really shocking, the effects of caffeine, when you look at stuff like this. I mean, I'm not a tea or coffee drinker. I used to like tea, strong tea, but I can only have it with 2 sugars. So I don't really need to drink it because I don't really want to be drinking lots of sugar. So I cut tea out years ago, and I do like coffee, but the problem is I get migraines. Where I was saying I was sensitive to caffeine, caffeine can trigger migraines for me. I get visual auras, so like my vision starts to get blurry and I get all these flashing and zigzagging lights, and it will last for about half an hour. Touch wood, I've not had a migraine in a few years, because I did find when I was sitting up late, when I wasn't really sleeping as good and I was drinking coffee, that I found for me was the trigger. So anyway, I know I don't react well to caffeine, so this was a bit random, but it's kind of relevant based on, you know, the sleep part I was telling you. I've not had good sleep, and this book is very interesting. So now I'm going to read that. I'm going to go to the gym. I have just got back from the gym. I'm about to have an electrolyte which replaces any sort of salt you sweat out and helps with hydration. It's 0 calories, 0 sugar, and it's actually a tablet that you just put in your you just put it in the water and it dissolves. I walked to and from the gym, so I got a bit of gentle exercise. I had some fresh air and some daylight. That's really good for your mindset as well. And sometimes it's not about what you're doing in the gym, especially when you've slipped up and you're trying to get back on track. Sometimes it's just going through the motions and dragging yourself to the gym. Sometimes you can feel like you're forcing yourself. It's really like hard to go. So don't worry about what you're going to do in the gym after a slip up. Just focus on getting to the gym. Even if you're in there for like 10 minutes on the treadmill, you've still got in your gym clothes, you've walked there when you didn't want to, it's still a win. So I did some deadlifts. I done legs this morning, but it wasn't about power. I was just it wasn't about power or strength. I was just doing some gentle exercises. I went on some machinery and I walked back. So I'm about to get in the shower. I have drunk 2 litres of water so far. I'm going to have another 2 more throughout the day. So I do feel better already from yesterday, because you know when you've got all that heavy food sitting in your belly, it's like it's getting flushed out of my system now. I've got a really good mindset. And what I would say that really helps me get back on track. So for the last 2 days, I've spent pretty much the whole day from the morning binge eating, overeating. And it's very easy to say like, oh, I'll just start the next morning and then start from scratch in the morning. What helped me, as you've seen in the beginning of the video, because that was the end of the day after binge eating for 2 days, I started the same evening. So it just starts with like washing my hair. Like it's a physical thing. Because of my insides feel so disgusting with all the junk food and the sugar, it's like a mental thing. I need to wash my hair, have a shower, like feel as clean as I can considering the situation. Then just by cleaning my kitchen, making my environment clean, getting rid of the rubbish, you're already building momentum and setting yourself up for a good place to start the next day, which was this morning. So that being said and done, I woke up, obviously had my chili for breakfast, a bit random, but it had all the macros I needed. And then I say macros, not in the way I'm counting or tracking. I'm not tracking, but I am just saying it in the sense I've got a protein, fat and carb. So I had the breakfast and then I've done a bit of reading and walked to and from the gym. Like I'm in a really good place today, and it's not even been 24 hours yet. It's only lunchtime. So I will, for lunch, I don't even know if I just told you what I've had for lunch. Oh, if I've repeated it, I'll cut it out. But I'm going to have a small bowl of pasta with a protein shake, not my nice protein shake that I'm talking about, the thick filling one. Just get my shaker, 1 scoop of protein, a teaspoon of peanut butter, because then I've got a protein, fat and carb. And I need to do a food shop actually to get some meals in, and I'll probably spend the weekend doing a bit of cooking and stuff and getting back on track, because we are on this jeans challenge. And as I say, my jeans are always where I can see them, because I'm going to get, well, the jeans fit now, but the next phase is going to be sculpting. So I guess I'll tell you more about that in week 6. So this pretty much is the end of the day. I am on my 4th litre of water. And I feel really good because I feel like it's clearing and flushing out my system. I feel a bit more hydrated. I don't really have that headachy or sluggish feeling. I had a really long hot bath after the gym, lots of bubbles, really relaxed. And then I've just had my pasta. It's probably about, what time is it right now? It's about 5:15. So I'm not going to eat anything for the rest of the evening. I need to let my stomach recover. It's been working very hard, overworking, trying to digest all of this food. So what I would say is, if you're still watching this, if there's some sort of tips that I can say that help me, which you would have seen in the video, is 1, no negative self-talk. If you slip off your diet, if you give in to a temptation or a craving, if you binge eat, it's okay. It will be okay. Imagine it's your friend telling you this. Imagine your friend has said to you that they fell off their diet, they gave into a cake at lunchtime, they've ruined it all. Like, you wouldn't say they've ruined their diet, and you would say you've not ruined your diet and you've not ruined your progress. Like, just get straight back on it. You would be supportive and encouraging, and just treat yourself the same way. You deserve it. And also, the second thing I would say is, what helps me is start in the moment. So yes, yesterday I started in the evening, which most people probably would start again fresh in the morning. They'd be like, oh, I've ruined today, let's start tomorrow. But what actually helps for me is starting in that evening, because you build momentum, and it's like the psychology of it, that you're setting yourself up and to be prepared tomorrow so you don't wake up and do the same thing. So even something as small as like a shower, cleaning, getting rid of all the rubbish, putting my gym stuff ready and prepared, that got me in the mindset. And even if you fill your water bottle up ready for the next morning, so it's all prepared, the organization helps me. And today has just been such a good day, back on track. So if you have fallen off, just I wanted to share this video because it happens to all of us. We're human and we could be doing very well on the diet. And like I've said before, like someone's journey is not just like from here to here or just like straight. Like people's journey is more like up and down, and then you go down and then you like, that's probably a really bad example by the way, but you know what I mean? Like journeys are up and down. Like it's more progress more than perfection, they say, isn't it? So I have slipped off many times before on my diets and stuff, or my healthy eating. And before I've really punished myself, negative self, so I've been there and done all that sort of stuff. It doesn't make you feel any better. And I do really believe like how I talk to myself and the actions I take as well, like I've done in this video, that has helped me to get back on track literally within 24 hours. I've not carried it on over the weekend. It's Friday today. I've not carried it on like most people would be like, oh, I'll probably just start Monday now. Like it's just set me up in a really good place. So I hope this video has helped. If you have got any tips yourself, feel free to share them. I'm definitely interested in learning, you know, about other people's experiences. This is just stuff I do that helps me. It might help you. If there are any tips you can share, definitely put them below. I like reading this stuff and you might help other people. So yeah, this is pretty much 24 hours getting back on track with me. I will post next probably in the 6-week jeans update. So I hope this video can help, or at least you find some value in some way from watching it and makes you feel less alone. Because I would say sometimes on your diet plan, if you've been doing really well, you sometimes feel like, or I do sometimes feel like there's a pressure, like, oh, I can't give in because people just know I'm on my diet now. And sometimes you feel like a bit lonely, like you can't speak to, oh, I feel struggling, I got cravings, like I'm finding it really hard. Sometimes you feel like you can't really speak to anyone. So this is just me showing it happens to me. We're all human. And yeah, anyway, I'm talking quite a lot now, but I will see you in the next video. Peace.